San Francisco, the city by the bay. Here you see a distant picture of Alcatraz. Here is the Alcatraz landing where we first arrived to get on the cruise boat that would take us out to the island. This is a view of Alcatraz as we get a little closer. And then here we are coming into the port at Alcatraz, and you can see some of the buildings along the coast and up on the hill. This is the first sign that you see to alert us that it is a penitentiary and that Indians are welcome. And at one point for about 2 years, they owned the land until the government took it away from them. There's the electric shop. And then you'll see here's the officers club where there was some of the wardens lived and I guess hung out during the day. This is the same building, but you can see that the roof is gone. And then here, this small building here was originally the schoolhouse and later became some residence quarters for some of the employees for them to live there. And then you can see this is the main entrance into the prison, of course guarded by a metal gate. Here we are going down the main strip. The clock at the far end is called Times Square. That's where they go through there into the cafeteria. This is what one of the cells look like. They have nothing more than a table, a cot, a sink, and a commode. This is the picture of the infamous fake head that was put in the bed when the guys were digging a hole to escape. And that's what one of the cells may have looked like with all of their belongings. Here is D block, which would be the solitary confinement area. And this is some people walking into one of the solitary confinement cells. You can see the doors will close and all they have is one little small window. And this is Al Capone and George Machine Gun Kelly, two of the inmates that did reside on D block for a while. And you can see the last prisoner to leave Alcatraz is Frank Weatherman. Alcatraz was never good for nobody. Here's a picture of some of the kids that live there from the employees' families. And this is the author of the book that I have. It's the one at the bottom called Guarding the Rock. His name is Ernest Legason, and his father was Ernest Legason Sr. His father was an officer there, and Ernest, the son that wrote the book, he was a paper boy. There's a picture of him and his father. And then on the inside cover, he signed it for me. Enjoy this glimpse of Alcatraz from my dad and me. Best wishes, Ernie Legason. He was there at the time that we did our tour. And then here's the Golden Gate Bridge with the infamous fog that everybody attributes to the bay. This is the entrance to the Golden Gate Bridge on one side. You can see that's actually a little tourist building there to get some information. And here we are about to cross. We had to cross over the Golden Gate Bridge to go into the redwood forest. So that's a picture of me and my husband as we crossed over to the other side. And then here we are entering into the Muir Woods, home of the redwood forest in San Francisco. And there's just some more facts about the trees and the height and where they come from. They reside in California and Southern Oregon. And here I am trying to give you kind of an idea of the actual width of the trees. So I stand at the base of one. This is just a picture of the inside of the park with some of the tourists walking around. And that's my husband and I inside of one of the trees. Again, notice how huge they are. And then I took a picture just looking straight up at the sky so you can kind of get an idea of just how tall they actually are. It's very beautiful, very, very beautiful. And then here's a picture as we came back out, going across the Golden Gate Bridge. You can see across the bay, the sailboats. And then here's some of the apartments or houses in San Francisco and the angle of the street. And there's the cars parked at the top. I just can't imagine what kind of wear and tear you do on your brakes to keep yourself from sliding down. There you can see it goes all the way out into the bay. It just keeps going hills. This is from the bay looking up toward the city. You can again see the streets coming from the hill all the way down into the water. It's pretty fascinating. There's one of the cable cars, Powell and I can't read it, Powell and something. And then there's, I guess it's probably the same one from a different angle. And this I thought was pretty interesting. It's a public toilet, and it's just a little thing that's stuck right in the middle of the street. This is one of the Victorian homes. You know, San Francisco is an old city, and it's known for its beauty and beautiful Victorian-style homes there. And then this is called the Speakeasy Restaurant, and that's the City Lights bookstore. And we didn't get to go into any of them. We were on a very short time crunch. This is the Alamo Square. The Alamo Square is a beautiful place. It's got some really nice little shops and restaurants and the beautiful green grass where a lot of people hang out and picnic and play frisbee. And right across the street is the painted ladies. This is the Lombard Street. This is the top of it looking down. And there's another view of it. Some of the folks are getting ready to drive down through the curvy road to the bottom. And if you read in my blog, you'll see that the reason it was made so crooked like that is for safety purposes, because if somebody did try to walk down there, they would actually, if they tripped and fell, they could actually get killed. And here's Grace Cathedral, big, very beautiful church. They do still hold services there. They had some priests and parish boys working as we were there. So here's the beautiful ornate, one of the doors that goes into the church. And then a picture of the rafters from the inside. A lot of beautiful stained glass and mosaics, and all the big beautiful organs, the pipe organs. I mean, just so many very, very pretty things. It just amazed me. This is going into Chinatown. We just toured around the city a little bit, looked into some of the shops. It's very, very Chinese oriented. I mean, it's just like being in Little China, I guess. The little side markets where folks were getting their food, and the little meat market, you could go and buy yourself some chicken or fish or whatever he had on stock there. And then this I thought was interesting. This is actually a bank, and I just love that it's got such of a Chinatown look to it. And then there are some decorations. And then that was the end of it. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks.